top 8.
Yes, there's a number of tribal strategies. I think Goblins is actually the 3rd most popular tribal strategy in the field from walking around, with Elves and Merfolk in the lead.
Right.
Very narrowly.
So it's time to break out those engineered explosives again. All right, so we have Chris Funk, Bug on the left. So going back over what Bug means. Bug is a Snapcaster Tarmogoyf deck that uses, I believe, there's no Riptide Labs. So it's actually just, it's the all removal spell, grind you out of the game sort of deck.
Yep. They're off to the races quick here with a Fluted Delta, then Tournament Aether Vial from Blake off Rishadan port.
Blake going to go at a mana base. The Tournament Aether Vial, Goblins really plays like a different deck. The Games has Aether Vial, and the Games doesn't. Goblin is a different deck.
Very much so. Especially with the port. He'll be able to start immediately locking down his opponent's mana production while continuing to stream creatures onto the board.
Yeah, Chris Funk, no Dark Confidants in his deck, just Snapcasters and Goyfs.
Yep.
Turn 2, he's going to him. Yep. Let's hope to try to thin out that Aether Vial curve that's being set up.
Yeah. As a tribal strategy, Goblins is actually relatively resilient to him thanks to Ringleader.
Yep.
Oh, Matron, that's a good one.
Matron and land. Mesa. Land could be
good. Yeah.
Actually, it looks like it's excellent.
Yeah, it looks like it was a good hit. He has a redundant vial in his hand and maybe another
Wastelands. I think we're going to see another vial and then waste him off some mana.
That seems correct.
You know, we just don't cast spells this game, just violin spells. No waste the sea. Remember, if Chris Funk does not have another colored land, he can't produce any colored mana.
Oh, but we held the vial.
Interesting. And a pass back by Chris Funk, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep, ideal.
He just doesn't want the second vial, and he wants to be resilient to some more discard. Now he'll play out.
We're casting it now?
Yeah.
That's strange.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
Chris Funk,
well, I guess
still no more game here.
Once he drew that Lackey, it became much more valuable to be able to tick a vial to 1, so that's probably a good reason to do it.
And he's going to put in a Chieftain, I believe, into play here. Yep. So Lackey becoming a 2/2 haste.
Check for 4. Dismember.
Whoa. Yeah, you can do that. Yep, it can make colorless.
It can make colorless, but...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he could dismember the Chieftain before combat, and then the Lackey can't swing.
Yeah,
so that's
if he doesn't actually have a permanent answer to the Lackey,
then this is fine too.
I'm not sure if this is actually better. I think you want to kill the Chieftain. With this many Aether Vials in play, I feel like Blake Kettle's Goblins are all coming into play for free. Lackey's not really that much of a card at this point.
Yeah, I feel like I would begin in combat the Chieftain there, probably.
Yeah, now he can actually bring Kettle down to 0 lands, but no reason to.
Yeah, he can cast all his spells already. Or semi-cast. So he has a vial on 1, 2, and 3 now, I believe.
1, 2, and... Well, I don't know if he
Unless he ticked one up to 4. It's getting kind of hard for us to tell. No, I think 1, 2, 3. Because he put a Chieftain... Oh, the Chieftain one might go up to 4. That's hard to say. Nope, it's on 3.
It's on 3, so you have a second Chieftain. They're both 3/3 hastes.
Yep. And we're just going with the Tribal Beats plan here. Always a winner against the mastered
Chris Funk
opponent.
still actually with no colored mana. Now colored mana's online. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. All these vials of Ether.
With, I think, a Sharpshooter still stuck in his hand, it seems like keeping it on 3 is fine. You don't really want to jump off that.
Agreed.
Until you have another vial on 3 as well. Chris Funk's in an awkward spot. His hand is filled with cards that are designed to get him to action, but not actually action.
Right. And Chris Funk already now down to 6 life.
Is that all 4 Brainstorms, I think? I think he has all 4 Brainstorms and their foil, which is nice.
Yeah, but he's going to have to. He only has 2 colored mana to work with here, and he has to survive. Remember, all the Goblins in Blake's deck having haste here? I just don't see how Chris is going to get this.
No, it seems grim. Yep, that's all 4. All right. Well, we're making 2 mana. We're going to use one of it to Brainstorm.
2, 3, floated. Okay,
and
so the wrong color, going to concede on that one. Blake Kettle continuing the charge on with Goblins, taking game 1 over Chris Funk. Both players here playing at a pretty quick pace, so maybe we'll get you some more action on here.
They were snappy there.
Let's look at their boards a little bit.
Sure.
Blake Kettle plays, you know, like a lot of Goblin decks. Only 5 different cards in his board. He has Thalia, Tormod's Crypt, Red Blast, Swords, and Pyrokinesis. He does play 2 Pyrokinesis in the main, which are pretty bad here.
Yeah.
So he's going to be looking for something to bring in against them. I would say Thalia.
Yeah, Thalia seems sure. Red Elemental Blast is kind of defensible, but I don't like cutting cards that are action for that.
Right.
The only one I could see is maybe you lose the Siege Gang,
or the Sting Scourger.
The Sharpshooter is what I meant to
you
say.
use the Sharpshooter, and even the Sting Scourger is pretty unexciting here.
I don't know. If your opponent's playing Bug, you can reasonably expect to maybe have to deal with a Tombstalker, even if you haven't seen one, you know?
Right.
And Sting Scourger is excellent there, so I think Tuk Tuk Scrapper and Sharpshooter are the two goblins I would look to trim first.
Yeah, those ones you definitely can get rid of. The thing is, there just aren't that many good cards to bring in, which I think is the biggest concern.
I think Thalia's fine. I think you might want 1 or 2 Red Blast. I don't know if you want the full 3. That's
right. You don't. I mean, Red Blast isn't good, but it's better than some of the actively bad.
Right.
So I think it's coming in that way.
I agree. Interestingly, he does have a Kiki Jiki in his deck as well. I don't think I've seen a lot of Goblin decks with Kiki Jiki. Maybe?
Usually they play one Kiki Jiki in them. It's a pretty good target to matron for when you have like a lackey in play.
Sure. I have liked the red-white Goblins decks. Those seem like much more interesting to me than a lot of the traditional splashes. Like green and black were the big ones for a long time. Green's kind of fallen out of favor.
Green's fallen off favor. You used to have black for Warren Weaving, white for swords. Green was for, I'm not even positive.
They ran usually like Crozen Grip. When people were playing Counterbalance, and maybe some other card that might be good. I don't know.
A lot of the ones that I've actually liked out of them tend to be the mono red ones. Mono red gives you permission to run a set of Rishon imports without much fear. Because not that you can't run ports in your multicolor builds, but what that means is you actually start becoming vulnerable to Wasteland, which especially in like a format where there's a lot of Rug Delver, I think making yourself Wasteland proof might be more valuable than any of the splashes you actually can do.
It's a reasonable thing. I just find the Thalia's adorable alongside the Goblin Horde.
Sure, Thalia is very good with goblins. So, with the addition of Thalia, the white decks do have a good game.
I think just swords is not good enough. I don't think that's especially reasonable. It's not even a great card for goblins in this metagame, I kind of feel like. There are a lot of tribal decks here. A lot of their creatures are pretty similar. The big decks of the format, actually, as I was looking around, we had it at the top tables, Stoneblade, then, as I said, Merfolk, Elves, Goblins, and Tess. Epic Storm was the other deck I saw popping up a lot at the top.
So, the question is, has anyone brushed off their engineered plagues for this tournament? If they have, they're going to be really happy.
Yeah. I didn't see many plagues. I don't think I saw any. I did see a blue-black Delver list slugging it out.
A few years ago, Plague was a really big staple of Legacy. It just has fallen off. I guess that's kind of an more old school thing to say. Like, man, where are the Plagues in Legacy? You used to always have to show up with a set of those. You know,
even more interesting than what is here at the top tables, I think, is what isn't.
Maverick,
Reanimator, and Sneak and Show. All 3 huge decks in Legacy, massive showings at the Invitational, and virtually non-existent.
Now, the interesting thing is it's not even that they're here and losing. I just don't even see them here.
I know John Pennick was on Maverick, and that's about it. I haven't seen hardly anyone else playing it. And Reanimator and Sneak and Show, I know that it's in the field. I've heard people talk about it, but it's definitely very underplayed. Looks like Blake is going to ship his hand back for 6. Always awkward to mulligan against the deck runs him to Torok, so can often lead to games that looked like they were going to be Magic and suddenly weren't.
So when we look back, let's look at the game plan for Chris Funk's deck.
He's got Pernicious Deeds,
Dark Blast, and Pernicious Deed, both of which seem pretty good here, actually.
Ghastly Demises might be fine. I don't know if he wants to overload on that many removal. He has a number of pretty good removal spells in his main deck already. Well,
going all removal against goblins, you run the danger of Ringleader.
Yep, you just die to a Ringleader.
But it may be better than a card like Force of Will.
That's true.
So turn 1, we're going to see a Ponder out of Chris Funk. Off Underground Sea. Remember Chris Funk on the play here. After quickly losing the game to Blake Kettle, he's going to keep all 3 on top and draw a card off it. He's drawn into Sensei's Divining Top, I believe. No, that can't
I thought that was
He's
a Snapcaster Mage.
He's not playing Pop, so that can't be right. Okay.
I think Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
I think he kept a Snapcaster Mage, and the 3rd card down, I believe, is an Underground Sea. I didn't get a look at the middle spell.
So Blake Kettle's going to crack a Bloodstained Mire just into basic Mountain. Expecting to see an Ether Vial or a Fanatic. He's actually, or a Lackey. He's playing 3 Fanatics, actually.
Yes, he is.
So
those have probably paid off reasonably well in this field, I imagine, with all the elf decks.
It is a Fanatic. There you go. And Delver.
And Delver.
There you go. So now it says, that's what I meant to say.
Sunken Ruins was the other card we kept on that ponder, it looks like.
So fetch land now, Misty Rainforest for Chris.
He's shuffling away the land he left on top, getting a Bayou. Blake checking that out.
I don't know if did he see green mana game 1?
No, he did not.
Okay, yeah, and him to Turok.
Yeah, that's awkward. Mog Fanatic can't possibly be the best card in our hand, but it's the one we're definitely
really interesting cards on how good it is. Sometimes it's just a Mind Rot, which isn't that strong.
Yep.
Sometimes it's absolutely devastating, where it's like you hit both their lands.
Yep.
It's kind of a gambler's card.
Kind of clarifying what we rolled here, I guess. Yep. Land. Well,
might just got
might
gotten
have
him
just
there.
got him, yeah. He didn't have the vial. He drew a Thalia, but he can't cast it. I imagine he can't cast anything else.
Chris Funk's at 18, and did he just get him there?
Yeah.
And that's brutal. Wow. Him to Turok, just doing a number on Blake Kettle there. Which, by the way, is why they do not print random discard anymore. It's because that's not fun.
That's one of the
what
reasons.
just happened
Yes.
there.
I've actually read a little bit about the theory of discard, and people would much rather have their opponents coercion them than make them randomly discard a card. The feel bad of it is actually
Well, the feel bad
pretty
this
negative.
is terrible. I mean, look at this.
We're reading Krenko Mob Boss.
Yeah. All right, you can't
Not
actually take it
Inquisition
because it
yet,
costs
but
4.
Giving him a quick read. Make sure we are acquainted with Krenko. This hand looks pretty awkward.
This hand
for
would have had
Blake.
2 lands, and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it definitely was really good, and
that
is now
pile driver Krenko combo actually seems pretty good. But
interesting that he grabbed the pile driver there. I guess he's not really fearing Thalia too much. Chris has plenty of lands. He's content to let Mog Fanatic beat him up for a while. We get to read Krenko. Blake could not have cast that Aether Vial any faster.
Yeah,
he
it's
picked
like,
it up
oh,
off the
God.
top of the deck, threw it onto the table, put the die on top of the deck. We're ready to go.
all right, we have a game plan, which actually can work out. Remember, Chris doesn't kill people with any kind of speed.
Yeah. He's looking over. We've got the Snapcaster Mage Brainstorm. Looks like a Pernicious Deed, which could be really bad right here. You can pop your deed for a relatively easy semi 2-for-1 here. I say semi because Mog Fanatic's not really a card right now.
What you want to do with your deed is you want to make sure that you want to make once you need to figure out about when you think you're going to win if you're Chris.
Yeah.
The card you're most scared of in Blake's hand is the Ringleader,
Yes.
actually. So deed takes out the. It looks like you have a sleeve that broke.
Yep.
Deed is. So deed taking Vial goes a long way in stopping Ringleader, which is great. But if Blake just starts drawing lands, maybe you don't care, and maybe you want to just wait and actually deed the creatures that Ringleader gets.
It's debatable. At a minimum, I think getting it onto the field here is probably fine. You're not under significant enough pressure to pop it for 1 against Mog Fanatic. Like, you're losing a point of life, I guess, if you decide it's right, but... What is a mountain? Oh, he's using it to slide the perfect fit into the sleeve.
How does that work?
You can use another card to slide your perfect fit sleeved card into a larger sleeve by using it as like a way to keep pressure on the card so it doesn't fall out of the sleeve. I just use my fingers, but for the viewers at home, that's a little technology on perfect.
Interesting.
Fit
I did not know. And he's going to
Snapcaster
Snapcaster him to
him.
Turok at him.
That's just mean-spirited, Chris.
Now he's going to take both his 4 drops.
I mean, it's not gonna. He's not especially unfavored to do so. Oh.
And he does.
He
okay.
does take both
all right.
the 4 drops.
Wow. Leaves him
Well,
just two hymns that couldn't have worked out better. Turok has done Chris Funk a big favor this
yeah.
game.
Wasteland,
He
perfect.
didn't even want to use that.
We can attack, I guess.
Sure, Chris
Chris
drops
is
2.
content to race.
15.
Yeah, Blake seems pretty cold in this game.
Doesn't want to get dazed. He's just going to wait and put it in off the vial.
Well, he can't cast the Thalia. He lacks his...
Thalia's gone.
No, he still has Thalia.
Oh,
it's a
so
one
it's
card.
Thalia. It's not the pile
No.
the pile driver. It's the Thalia.
Yeah, his opponent discarded pile driver. I'm pretty sure. Giving the Pernicious Deed a read, make sure it gets us the exact amount that we thought it did. Yep, it does.
It's 1. Okay.
Zap.
Here's off the board. Leaves Blake with not much. Well, Rishadan Port.
Perfect.
Blake will use it, you know.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
What are we tapping?
Port him off. Nothing. It doesn't even matter.
Like, you can get pretty much anything no matter what you tap here. Tap the Underground Sea? Sure.
Sure.
We have another Pernicious Deed in our hand. That's going to be good enough. I can't imagine a sequence that's especially good. Liliana will discard the Thalia here. And Blake will be stuck peeling without the mana to cast.
I don't know if I would have actually dropped the land.
You just pitched the land? I think that's fine too, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why we played the Bayou there, because I like the Brainstorm and the Deed in our
I think that was even in Chris's head. He realized, like, whoops, he just doesn't take the Liliana.
Good news is that he's so far ahead that it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
We forgive you.
Blake has one turn to work with his hand here, but he's going to pass, port and probably be pitching a Thalia to protect whatever he drew, which we assume is a 4-drop, because otherwise he has incentive to cast it. Although it could be
that's
a
Jace drawn?
A Jace?
Oh, goodness. Oh, okay. Well, I see.
This is a very close game. We did ironically get paid for our Bayou last turn.
Jace only comes into play with 3 counters.
Yeah, we've got a rogue Jace the Mind Sculptor out down there.
What? What? I mean, he's just not good enough for 3 counters. There we go. Okay.
Well, we've got plenty of fetch lands here.
No, when you Brainstorm, it's +1.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I would have brainstormed more often, I think, if that were the case.
All right.
Blake's gonna draw, play a wasteland.
This is miserable for Blake.
Interestingly, Chris again didn't take the Liliana.
Liliana's just spectating this game.
Yeah. And he has.
It's okay. Jace will take care of things.
It's one of those games where it's
Blake. He's being a trooper here. He's like, no, port your land.
Yeah.
No, we're still in this. Jace, yeah, that's fine.
Him?
Jace Brainstorm. Him, both my cards, whatever. I'm port your land again. I'm still in this.
Trooping. Is that Snapcaster Mage too?
Him, both your cards, Fate Seal you, Sure.
Shrug, we don't care. Yeah, the mana situation was really awkward here. We held that Goblin Lackey because casting it would just die to Liliana, obviously, but also, awkwardly, we couldn't even draw a creature to protect it because of our mana base.
Right.
Needed runners to get it onto the board safely, and even then, it's still just a 1/1 without additional goblins drawn after we land him. So
I think this game really decided off that initial Hymn to Turok.
Yes, very clearly just destroyed any momentum Blake was going to generate by removing his land drops.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. All right.
You might say Magic is a game of resources, and Blake didn't have them. You might say that. I'm not saying it is.
Okay.
But it's an allegation.
Did Jace Brainstorm, right?
I assume. Maybe
the best part is you think where you're
maybe
we forgot our Jace. Yeah, that's probably okay. We're still gonna win.
It can get confusing.
Double port. Oh, great commitment here from Blake Kettle. Not scooping.
Snapcaster is gonna start laying the.
Jace's gotta start. Yeah, 5. Okay.
Now we're Fate Sealing.
Sure.
Yeah, go look.
Thalia. Yeah, you can't cast that. That's fine.
That's fine.
It's a white card.
We did dutifully check our hand though, so
Yeah,
Blake's going to be wondering, man, what am I drawing?
Still have this Brainstorm and Go for the Throat in my hand? Yep,
spell?
Okay, good, alright.
We're just playing our Pernicious Deed to play it?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Didn't use the Liliana.
Left it on 4 this turn. It's totally fine.
Right,
Blake's had enough.
Thank
He's
you.
clocking out.
Thank you, Blake Kettle. We appreciate your fighting spirits, but the battle was not there. Alright, going to game 3.
Looks like neither player is returning to the sideboard. Just going to stick with their same configuration.
Looks like Chris is checking.
Oh, yep, he picked it up.
You just have to chalk that one up to randomness, to the power of Hymn to Turok, and to the fact that,
They wouldn't print the cards if they didn't want us to play with them.
Yeah. When you have a 6-card hand, if you have a 6-card hand, you have 2 lands in it, then 1 out of every 15 times that Hymn to Turok's going to take both your lands. So it's an 8.3% of the time you're going to get wrecked.
I always dislike mulliganing against decks that can do that. It can be super frustrating. But that's one of the reasons to even play the card, you get free wins. That's why we play a lot of cards.
Right, and like I said there, in that situation, like I said, it's an 8% chance that that Blake's gonna get wrecked by that hand. You play it because it means at the worst it's a mind rot. Okay, that's fine. But you know, it can just be brutal.
Oh, we're both consulting our sideboards now. It looks like Blake did leave the Rebs in the sideboard before, but I think he might be pulling them in now. Maybe he likes them a little better when he's on the play. I don't know.
Well, I think they're a way to get rid of Jace.
Yeah, they're a way to get rid of Jace. I also think they're reasonably powerful when you can knock a Brainstorm early with them.
Yeah, provided you have the untapped land to do it, which is a little bit of an if in a Goblin deck, like at the right time. But if you do, it's a worthwhile play. And Brainstorm can be a call in certain situations, and of course you'd rev an a call. So
yeah, I think countering Brainstorm is a little underdone personally. I haven't played a lot of Legacy, but when I did, I spell pierced a lot of Brainstorms.
Sure. Now, is the reason it seems like everybody plays Reb over Pyroblast? Is that?
I recall that there is a subtle difference in their wording.
Well, the difference is that Pyroblast can target anything, and it only does something if the thing is blue.
Right.
Whereas Reb can only target blue things.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure there's a relevant reason to do one and not play one and not the other, though I'm not positive.
It's very,
is it
minor.
Is it misdirection? No,
misdirection
always
like
works. Though.
There is, if you're playing Ensnaring Bridge, then you want to play Pyroblast, because that is a way to get the card out of your hand by targeting something that is not blue.
Sure.
So that your hand size will be small enough to not be attacked.
Spell Skite could matter, but if anyone plays that, I don't know.
The only relevance I've seen is in the mono red painter decks where Pyroblast's ability to let you slide your bridges a little lower can come up. So
okay.
Misdirection, it can theoretically be used to protect some stuff, I suppose. But yeah, it's a pretty minor difference. I know there were times when one was better than the other. I'm sure that another relevant one from our director, Shoebox. Phantasmal Image can be targeted by Pyro and Hydro regardless of its color to kill it.
Yeah,
something Red Blast can't necessarily pull off.
But it seems like Red Elemental Blast is like the go-to one. I see that far more often than I see Pyroblast.
I agree. I think it's a little more. I think it's easier to track down is one reason, to be honest. And it is also possible that people heard back in the day, you know, man, those Pyroblasts can be misdirected. I should play Red Blast. And it's just sort of like their default, and they don't really reevaluate.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common thing.
The things they can all be, yeah. I mean, they all can be misdirected because usually switch it to the misdirect.
To the misdirection, yes.
Misdirection.
If you're playing Phantasmal Images, however, you probably want those Red Blasts.
Yeah.
No need to let them free kill your Phantasmal Image.
So, a note, we did have, looking at our top 8 kind of starting to shape up here, we know Caleb Durward, our standard champion, did go 6-0 and is double drawing into this top 8.
Oh, he's
got
playing
one Elves. Well, he got one draw.
One draw.
He believes he believes
that
he will be able to draw into this top 8. He's playing Elves. We also have Grant Wilkinson, it's the player who drew with him, the other NFP player. I'm not sure what Grant is on.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest. We could ask Caleb, maybe did a little
Grant
research.
Grant is playing, we believe, Storm. So we have Storm. So that's why we couldn't bring you a Storm Elves at the top tables that they drew. So.
Yep. We also have John Pennick with Maverick swinging it out on 15 points.
A pair of players with one draw, and then after that we have players with one loss going all the way down to table 11. It looks like. So yeah, down all the way to table 11. So we have should be a pretty good race for those top 8 spots.
I see a number of players in there. I know we're playing Stoneblade and Rugdelver.
Yeah.
Namely, we have Jeff Hoogland is on Stoneblade.
Jeff Hoogland is on Dead Guy. We had him on camera here. Yeah.
Really? I could have sworn I saw him playing Stoneblade.
Yeah, Stoneforge, but no blue cards.
You got me.
We have other
Matt Bowie's on Rugdelver. Although he may have switched to Stoneblade. He was practicing both decks.
Other players, we have Scott Ruggiero, who we saw on camera, playing Merfolk. And we have a bunch of other players now. So we'll keep you updated. Okay, back to game 3, right out of the gates. So fetch land into Mount, fetch land Plateau for Blake Kettle. We're on turn 2. Chris Funk with an uncracked fetch land. So Blake's cracking his for a turn 2 play, which is going to be Thalia.
Sweet card, Thalia. We'll note Blake kept a hand without a 1-drop, so that gives Chris a little bit of information. Maybe he could even reasonably expect Thalia from this position, because most strong Goblins hands on 7 include a 1-drop. Chris
All right.
can't him this turn. He's got Tropical Island.
He can't him because of Thalia,
Oh, that's a good point, too.
but he also can't him because of Tropical Island. So,
He's fetching up.
catching up, drops to 19. Has a turn 2 play, but looks like he might possibly Tarmogoyf is what I think we're looking at here. Maybe just a Brainstorm. Inquisition of Kozilek he'll go for. Pile Driver. Chris is on 6.
This is a good hand. Yeah, Chris
They're
pulled the
gonna,
6.
the second Thalia, it's Jump Home Incinerator, Pile Driver. He's not going to take the second Thalia.
I imagine we'd have to take Pile Driver, I guess?
I think it has to take Pile Driver. The problem with this is that the Ringleader is, like I said, the
Ringleader's
best
the good
card
card,
against
yeah.
Bug. That's the one he wants to take.
None of these cards, are, except for the Ringleader, are even very good. I would say the Wasteland is the second best card in his hand.
Yeah.
Pile Driver is probably third, although it's kind of close.
Wasteland might not waste Chris right away.
Oh, I don't think it'll waste him. I think it's like a land that lets you cast the Ringleader. That's why it's
He
the best
might.
card.
I mean, he has a Thalia in play. He might be able to... If he doesn't take the Ringleader...
Yeah,
If he
that's
doesn't,
true.
no, if he doesn't take the Pile Driver, if he takes the Incinerator, I definitely could see Blake playing out Pile Driver Wasteland.
Wasteland, that's reasonably aggressive, so
Yeah, alright.
we're going to take the Pile
So we're
Driver,
gonna
and
take the Pile
that'll
Driver, stop that.
put the decision to Blake. It'll also depend on what he draws, of course, as to
Yeah, see if Blake...
the Wasteland.
and
Oh, he hit a
does-
Vial. We're Wastelanding.
Yes.
We've got a Vial. All is right with the world. Yeah, we have to pay 2 mana for our Vial, though. So,
Yep. Tap.
yep, there we go. See, I remembered it this time.
Alright, Chris drops to 17.
He's going to attack, and no Wasteland. All right.
Wasteland.
I guess we're a little eager to try and land that Pile Driver if we can peel
That
the land.
Ringleader, yeah.
Or, yeah,
See,
sorry,
and if he,
Ringleader.
yeah. If he can't, he'll waste him. I mean, I think Chris doesn't have... We'll see, I mean, you want to check, see if Chris has a land. Chris does, he has a Wasteland.
Yep, he has a Wasteland, and it looks like another land, a fetch land, I think. Sunken Ruins.
Sunken
Nope.
Ruins, yeah.
Fetch land.
No reason to try to waste him off something. If I were Chris, I'd be wary and maybe try to waste Blake. I don't know, but he has an Ether Vial. You don't really want to waste the guy with an Ether Vial.
Notably, Chris has 2 deeds in his hand, and Blake can only see 1 green source, so wasting a
Matron
green source
coming
to
into
hold off
play.
deed is also reasonable.
Alright, Matron here. I almost want to say... I almost would want to search up just another Ringleader.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Those are your best cards. You're going to win the game by just grinding your opponent out.
Now,
Well, goblins
you may
can-
be worried about something like Cabal Therapy out of... I don't know about him, which he doesn't have.
It's a relatively uncommon card. I
Yeah.
don't think I would be playing around it here.
He's
Pile
a Pile
Driver.
Driver.
So he's just going to try and be aggressive. Goblins is capable of some very aggressive starts, but I think I prefer the games where you grind him out with Ringleader.
Yeah, more resources is how you usually beat Bug.
Yeah. They're a deck specifically designed to deny you resources.
Right.
Thalia's going to send in, but Go for the Throat is going to slay Thalia.
Alright, spells can be cast for their normal costs now. It's for at least one turn until Chris plays another Thalia. Blake plays another Thalia.
Yeah. He can just Vial Thalia in on the next turn if he so desires.
See what Chris does with his turn.
Fetch land, so we can get another green source for our deed. Wasteland will no longer lock us out of it. Playing our fetch land, okay.
He does have a Hymn to Turok
Yeah.
also in his hand. He's going to go with Deed. I somewhat actually like him there.
I think when I know my opponent just has the 1 Ringleader in the hand,
I want to get it.
yeah, I really want to get it before he can get it into play. Pernicious Deed is nice, and now that it's on the board, it can somewhat, I don't want to say counter the impact of a Ringleader, but it can soften it.
Blake draws a Red Blast. And actually, I feel like Chris, I like what Chris is. I feel like he snuck back into this game.
Yep.
I don't
This
know why you have to
is-
do that main phase, but okay.
Yeah, do we have a Hasty Goblin of some kind?
No.
We're just,
We're just filing it in, making sure we remember to do it. I think
that's awkward.
it's gonna waste. Ooh, I don't like this play. I
are
don't
we-
like this line at all.
No, this seems really,
This is really turning on.
that deed is just much better now.
Yeah, it does stop the ability to him, but if Chris can draw another land, he can go him, crack, deed, wasteland.
The thing is, if we waste here, there's already significant incentive to get rid of the Aether Vial with the Pernicious Deed, so now we're giving him a free Pile Driver in the mix too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd crack my deed on 3. Oh gosh.
Oh
And
gosh,
something
we're
ruins.
getting him now. Chris played to maximize his him, and he got there.
See what he gets. So we have a Red Blast, a Thalia, a Ringleader, and the last card, 2, and...
Let's renumber these guys. Let's just figure it out.
What's that?
Oh, Ringleader Thalia.
Ringleader Thalia.
Gem Palm
He's in with
Incinerator,
Red Blast. Blake's really been neutered here.
Those are the worst cards in his hand.
His deck has. That's so yeah.
Blake's reproductive future remains
uncertain. Yes. I mean, what he has a lot of answer cards, but no threats.
Yep.
And with this deed, I just don't. Yeah.
Do we have another him? Is that the other card?
It appears so. Doesn't look, which is great. He can wait a turn. He can take some damage here.
Yeah.
And put Blake in an awkward position where Blake doesn't really want to play a card, but then when he doesn't, he'll get all his cards out.
Yep. And with the deed still on the table, there won't be a way for Blake to evade that.
No, and he'll wasteland him as well.
Yep. Well, I assume he'll wasteland him.
Cavern of Souls. Sure, nothing can be countered now. Awesome.
If you had a good spell, that would be better.
Going to cast Gem Palm Incinerator.
Flooding the board into this deed seems so awkward.
Well, deed for 3 is looking even better now.
It already looked quite good.
All right, sure. I will deed for 3.
We also interestingly cast our Incinerator instead
That's
of
not usually what I
Violet.
do with that card.
Yeah, like I mean, we have a Vial and we have a Red Blast, so there seems like it's just straight downside.
Yeah.
It's not our opponent knows what we drew. It's Cavern of Souls, right? Like, or no, he hasn't cast. No, he has cast Inquisition. Did he see Red Blast with Inquisition? No, he didn't.
No, not Thalia, Red Blast. No, he didn't see it.
Yeah.
No.
So that card is unknown. So I guess we can represent Matron, sort of.
There's another deed now in Chris's hand.
Yeah, this one's.
He's gonna get the last card out of Blake's hand.
It's the Red Blast.
And 3. Pass the turn. He'll probably during attacks here. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like the way. I don't know if I would have done the him yet.
Would you have ticked Vial to 4 here and just hoped to peel a Ringleader? I think I might have.
Maybe.
I mean, I can't think of like any really downsides to that play. Like I can just cast a 3-drop post combat if I draw that.
Yeah.
So I think I like ticking
if you
the
take it to 4, also Matron draws you into Ringleader. You can cast Matron and Ringleader.
Well, I assume that he'll deed in response to you casting a Matron, so that won't work.
Okay.
But
possibly, yeah.
In response to the trigger, I should say. But I mean, you'll still be able to get a Ringleader theoretically.
And the other Vial's gone too.
Yep. And we're casting, hopefully, Goblin Matron. That's what we want.
That would be excellent. And Chieftain.
Well, he's sweet too.
He's okay. It's what
he is a
Chris
threat.
Is at 10.
I mean, this board's relatively open. He might have to pop that deed early, except that he just drew Brainstorm. Yeah. Tropical Island for Brainstorm. I approve of that.
Brainstorm, fetch land.
And another Brainstorm.
Oh, Brainstorm. When Brainstorm's good, it's good.
Yeah.
I guess that didn't really. It just gave us a.
It just gave us the next turn. Like we're just gonna cast our deed and probably pass, I imagine, and then fetch land Brainstorm again.
Yeah. Stops you from this land flood for no investment.
Yeah. We're gonna leave our Brainstorm available to cast and play a Pernicious Deed. Or are we gonna Wasteland? That is actually a Wasteland's reasonable play here, I guess. It locks your opponent out of being able to top deck Matron, so I would probably just do it.
I think I would have Wastelanded just because I'm worried about a flurry of hasty goblins. Like Pile Driver or Horn Instigator.
That's a lot of damage.
6 damage. We're gonna drop Chris Funk to 4. You have to deed again.
What?
He has to deed again now.
Oh,
on his turn.
He definitely has to deed again. So in some ways, Blake's aggressive play here has paid off, but if he had held on to a Goblin, I think we might be in slightly better shape. Even just hanging on to the 2/1 Gem Palm Incinerator when your opponent's at 4 life is pretty reasonable. We're brainstorming knowing our top card is a land?
I don't like that at all.
I think going to 3 is probably fine, right? Like what else, what bad things can happen to us?
He's drawn, what is that?
That looks like a Tarmogoyf foil, I think? Foil Tarmogoyf?
Well, something. Well, either way, we'll find out soon. Deed has to be cracked. Oh, it's a fetch land.
Oh, we knew we had the fetch land. That's the one he kept with the
Chris
brainstorm.
Funk drops to 3.
I imagine he's.
I actually like Blake in this matchup still, in this game still. I don't know if I don't know if Chris can keep this damage off the table.
It's tough. Blake's deck is pretty much all the same thing, a bunch of creatures, and if he draws just multiple running creatures, it will be difficult.
Sorcery, creature, instant, land, artifact, enchantment.
This is a big Tarmogoyf.
6/7 Tarmogoyf.
That seems about right.
Yep. All
Sorcery.
2 kinds of spells, creature, artifact, enchantment, land. That's
Yep.
a 6.
They're counting it off. Yep, 6.
Ooh, what a hard-hitting 2-drop.
Now, fortunately, Blake is on 19, so that is not a 3-turn clock. It is a little lengthier than that.
Yep, making it uncounterable.
And pile driver. All right, that's a relatively scary
On
card.
a nice snapcaster.
Ew.
All right, now
That's
I think
not nice.
Chris
Yeah.
Chris looking good here.
Now we are under a 3-turn clock. Oh, we're porting an upkeep the Wasteland.
He's tapping something on upkeep.
Yeah. It looked like he said
porting
Wasteland,
something.
but I know he said it looked like he said Port Wasteland when Chris picked up the Wasteland, but I guess he's. Yep, he just let it get tapped. Okay. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Why not blow it from this position? I'm not sure what we're scared of.
Oh, and another
deed?
deed. That's I think that's all the deeds, isn't it?
Yep, that's all the pernicious
Every
deeds.
deed.
Magic is a
Has been
very
done.
difficult game.
Yeah.
And
Ringleader.
we got our ringleader, but it may have come too late. We'll see what we get. Kiki Jiki Chieftain Incinerator. Now we took 8. I don't think that's been updated quite yet. So
He's
we're
at
actually
5.
at 5, right? So this
So
is,
ringleader's on blockers duty.
Yep.
So close to being lethal there.
It's very close. But we're not quite there. Chris trying to think how we can best keep his opponent. I think we really want to Wasteland here. We don't want him to be able to play like Goblin Incinerator.
You don't want chieftain plus something.
Yeah.
All right.
We're just going to attack, make you block.
All right.
Fall to 3.
I don't know if I actually like the Snapcaster attack there.
You don't?
Well, I suppose.
I mean, I'm trying to think like what can he do, you know?
Inquisition.
If we Wasteland him.
Okay, with the
if we have
Inquisition,
Inquisition, yeah.
take the chieftain.
I was thinking like if we Wasteland him, then he can't draw a Goblin that makes the Chieftain matter, right?
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and Wasteland him anyway after we've got the Inquisition.
Oh. Cavern.
Took us a little bit, but we got him. Plateau.
No, Plateau.
Okay.
That's definitely the correct play.
Yeah.
He doesn't play counter spells.
Ah,
Ooh,
take
just
that. We're going to play the Chieftain, I
And
imagine.
another chump blocker.
Or we lost our Chieftain, sorry. The Incinerator is what I meant to say. Delay the inexorable. Ghastly Demise will do the trick.
He has to read the card,
Yep.
but
Ghastly
unfortunately
Demise is a strong
that will be his
removal,
demise.
but a little underplayed.
All right, very close game. Chris Funk defeats Blake Kettle 2-1. Bug moves on. Goblins defeated. A little less tribal possibly in the top 8, but still tribes
Yep.
running strong here.
Yeah, he did bring in the Red Blast as we saw. Did he bring in all of them? I'm personally curious. I think 2 is like semi-reasonable. I don't think I would bring in more.